Thank you, Clement, for that report. Now, the Ministry of Education says it has released 18.51 billion shillings in capitation to support operations of public basic education for third term. This even as education stakeholders say schools are choked with a pile of debt running into billions of shillings. And as Bentura Komboka reports, the stakeholders want a relook into the higher education funding model.
As the schools reopen for the third academic term, learning may resume, but operations continue to be affected by persistent funding shortfall, sinking schools deeper into debt. It is back to school, but not back to normalcy for many school heads across the country. For years, schools have been running on premises, with the government supposed to fund basic operations, the money simply not coming in full or on time.
There is a lot of confusion in our schools because some schools have not received capitations. But what is obtaining is some schools received the 2,900 per student yesterday, and some of them are receiving today. The government should try its best and ensure that money for the learners is not delayed, because that is tantamount to delaying their future.
Already, the government has released 1.4 billion shillings for primary schools, 6.14 billion shillings for junior school, and 10.96 billion shillings for secondary schools. With the disbursed money just a drop in the ocean, the constant piling up of debt by school continues to strain and choke the already underfunded education system. By policy, capitation is released in a ratio of 50 to 30 to 20 across the 3 terms. Every secondary and senior school learner is allocated 22,244 shillings per year. A junior school learner gets 15,043 shillings per year. In the formula, a secondary school learner is supposed to get 11,122 shillings in the first term, 6,673 shillings in second term, and 4,449 shillings in the third term. Since January this year, schools have received only about 16,500 shillings per learner against the full year allocation of 22,244 shillings, leaving a funding gap of nearly 5,800 per child.
It's a very expensive curriculum, but it is good for learners. So the government should invite stakeholders to look at the funding model for both primary and secondary afresh, so that we move in tandem with the costs.
As schools reopen, the question now is for how long they can remain open when the free education burden is quietly shifting back to the parents. Bentura Komboka, KTN.